Last year, me and Saez made a documentary focusing on my dislike of crowds and how I found that playing portable games and listening to music helped me cope with my anxiety. And through my love for gaming, helped me with socialising and making new friends. Today we'll be focusing on what my life has been like throughout this last year and a half.
What have you been doing since the last documentary a year and a half ago?
Well, I've been occupying my time with volunteering since I'm still looking for a full-time job with the National Library, but that's ended now. But I'm still at Gorgie Farm, which I'm enjoying a lot more, so much more fun. Everything I really wanted to do, especially with general maintenance of the farm and the animal care.
What do you like best about working at the farm?
Mostly everything. But I think in terms of new ones that we got in, I'm growing really fond of the lambs. You know, they're just the cutest things in the world, and they're actually growing onto us surprisingly quickly. I get to bottle feed them almost every time I'm there, which is so much fun. And even the less, enjoyable things like cleaning out, I actually genuinely don't mind that, and in a way it's actually a good workout. And I just like spending time with the animals. I mean, you do get to spend some personal time with them, you know, trying to get them used to you if they're brand new, and just holding them and just, you know, showing them the affection they deserve. There you go. Good, good. Well, since I'm mostly working with the larger animals, the goats are definitely a favourite of mine. Although, and despite the fact that I don't work in the pet lodge, I absolutely adore the snake Dougal, even though I don't get to see him much.
So can we have a look around and speak to some of your colleagues as well?
Yeah, that would definitely be fine. They're more than willing to share how much they enjoy working here.
Hi Maya. How long have you been working at Gorgie Farm?
I have been working at Gorgie Farm for 3 years now. I used to be a volunteer, a lot like Morgan, but I've been here for 2 years as paid staff. My day-to-day job entails helping the volunteers to look after the animals. That could be the animals at the pet lodge, so the guinea pigs, the small animals, or it could be the large animals, as in the cows and the sheep and the livestock. I help the volunteers take care of the animals. We feed them, we groom them, we give them everything that they need. And a lot of these volunteers have learning difficulties.
How is Morgan getting along working at the farm?
Morgan has come on in leaps and bounds since she started at the farm. When I first started working with her, she was really quiet, she was really reserved, but she's got this amazing confidence now. I think that's something to do with working at the farm, doing all this stuff with the animals that she loves. She's got a passion for it, she's got a drive for it. And I think when you work with someone every week, you get to know them, you build a relationship. And to see her blossoming and becoming this confident young person has been amazing to watch.
How did you first find out that you have high-functioning Asperger's?
I must have been around 6 or 7. Considering all the strange habits that I had during my childhood, my parents decided to take me to the doctors for some tests, and they were pretty much immediately able to recognise I had Asperger's.
What was your family's and your reaction to finding this out?
Well, my parents were relatively calm. You know, I think they had always suspected, considering my behaviour, but I didn't really know how to react because I had no idea what it was.
Did you enjoy being at school?
For the most part, yes. I mean, the teachers were really nice and I just tried my best, but I didn't really get along with many of my classmates. I had trouble making and keeping friends. So that was the only downside, really. I did get a little picked on. Mostly because they just thought I was a bit strange and different.
You mentioned being bullied. What would the other kids do or say to you, and how long did this go on for?
Well, it went on for about the first few years of primary school and high school. It was just almost like a little nitpick at first, but then it almost built up. You know, they just teased me for my strange behaviour and singled me out as an easy target because I was quite gullible and naive.
Thinking back, if you could say something to the bullies about what they did to you, what would you say to them?
Well, if I was to confront them, I would have to, well, for a start, I would have to resist the urge to throw something. But I would definitely just march straight up to them and just explain to them, you know, I was different, you know, I was naive, so what? I was just acting like myself. What was the problem with that? It's not as if you know, had a better lifestyle than that, just, you know, spending all your precious time singling someone out because you thought it was funny. You know, yeah, that doesn't make you any better than me, just because I was a little strange. If anything, I've embraced that by this point. So that's definitely how I would, and I definitely feel proud of myself if I did that. You know, even if it didn't work, you know, it's something that needed to be said.
So what is it you like about dragons so much?
Everything. Just the way they look, how much you can do with them in their own reality. I've got about 20 at this point. And obviously, since I have a massive collection, I've kind of taken it to an extreme. It's more of an obsession at this point.
What are your favourite dragon statues that you own?
It's really hard to choose. Well, that giant purple and grey one that I have, the one with the big sword and the armour, and of course that new kind of black stone one that I actually got. That's pretty badass. That's pretty awesome too.
Looking back at how you felt when we filmed the first documentary, do you feel more comfortable and confident in yourself?
Definitely, there's been improvement. I feel like I'm more capable of maybe leadership and just doing things by myself in general. I'm also, you know, a lot better in crowds. You know, I can just go out and about without having to worry or panic too much.
What is the best thing about having Asperger's that people don't realise?
Well, I think to me it just defines an individual, and for me in particular it kind of amplifies, you know, my passion and interests, and you may even find that you have quite a few unique talents. Also, it's weird, it's hard to explain, but you kind of see the world in a different light, and even some actually have above average intelligence, so it gets them quite far in life. I think that's a lot of the things that people don't realise, and they may see it as just sort of a social hindrance.
What would you like to be doing a year from now?
Well, if I'm honest, considering the, you know, amazing experience I've had at Gorgie Farm, I'd just like to pursue a career with animals in general, preferably at the farm since I'm so used to it. But if that's not the case, just anything like maybe a veterinary assistant or just regular animal care, you know, cat and dog shelter, you know, along those lines.